Hello everyone, Need Some More Drums here, back in Rusinskiy for another episode of our Journey to 100,000 population series. I hope you all have been enjoying the series so far. I've really been enjoying making it, and this is just your friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and comment if you have any ideas or questions about the future of the series. Always happy to talk to you guys, so yeah, go ahead and do that. But today we have a lot to get done. I did a little bit of work off camera. Specifically, I built a couple of interchanges. I know we built this one in the last episode, and I've gone ahead and made this one as well. Just kind of work with this tighter space. It's something a little bit different, and since we have the space to do it, at least on this side, decided to build something a little bit more on like a bigger scale. And also, you've noticed I did put in some roundabouts, and I know this one's kind of goofy, but it was just the way that the roads kind of worked out. It didn't really make sense to build just like one of these and then have another one like over here. So just made this kind of bigger, more of a centerpiece of an interchange. And so hopefully this will help a lot with the traffic flow, especially with getting like our garbage trucks and things over to the city. So where we left off in the last episode, we had built a lot of these housing developments over here, and I do like how these turned out, but our increase in population has been putting a big strain on a lot of our infrastructure. So the reason that I have the game paused is because like half of the city is without power right now, and I'll show you just in a second. But yeah, like if you look, we have tons of spots where there are just a bunch of blackouts, rolling blackouts and stuff, or brownouts, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, so that's going to be the focus of today's episode. I want to do a couple things. I want to make some investments in infrastructure. We have a lot of disposable cash. I mean, not a ton, I guess, but enough to make some investments to really improve some of these issues. And then I want to improve the power situation. I want to build most likely another recycling center somewhere, because we do have a lot of issues with garbage piling up. Nothing too severe, but I think just the problem is that there aren't enough trucks to go around. So I think I might spend a little bit of money and make an investment in another waste processing facility of some sort. And then I also want to start really filling in some of these roads. We have a lot of dirt roads, and they're great for just starting off the city because they're very, very low maintenance. They don't cost a lot to maintain right from the start. So it's a great way to start planning out your road network. But now that we have a little bit more income and a little bit more funds at our disposal, it is time to give the people some better conditions and actually, pave a lot of these roads, especially since this is kind of going to be the city center, a little bit later on. So, some of these around here I'm probably going to leave as dirt roads for now. But yeah, like all these around the suburbs, around the industry, we're gonna work with that. And speaking of industry, I mean, you can tell we just have a ton of demand for industry. So I think I'm going to fill out this industrial park for the most part. And even over here, I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do with this whole area, and really kind of start zoning out some industry. But yeah, so aside from those goals, I want to take a look real quick at our milestones, and it looks like our next milestone is 11,000. And so my main goal today in this episode, after the infrastructure investments and improvements, is to hit this milestone. I think 11,000 is going to be a good goal for us today. Whether it's going to be with some housing developments or maybe a little bit more of suburban sprawl, I'm not entirely sure yet. But nonetheless, I think we're gonna get there somehow, and I'm curious to where that's gonna take us, because I don't really have a ton of ideas on how I want to expand the city just yet. I might fill this out a little bit more, maybe expand a little bit over here into some kind of suburban type development. But yeah, I even want to do some expansion up here in Prosvetanie and maybe fill out this area here, kind of connecting the industry to a little bit more of a denser city center, since, again, taking inspiration from some of the old kind of Russian and Soviet developments, typically there's not as much of a gap between industry and residential zones as you would see maybe somewhere, in some other places. So I'm thinking about kind of bringing the residential all the way up to, somewhere around here, and then having a little bit of a commercial buffer or something like that, or some other kind of facility of some sort, and then just kind of going straight into industry. So we'll see how that all works out. And again, I don't think we're going to get to the third city in this episode. I kind of have a little bit more of something planned for that in the future, and we're just not quite there yet. But don't worry, we're gonna get there soon. I promise. It's not just gonna stay like this forever. I'm just trying to build out some of these other areas a little more and give us, you know, some more steady cash flow and a greater amount of money so we can invest in this area. But for now, yeah, this is plenty, and everything's looking real good, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with our first project. All right, so part of the reason that I really wanted to focus on some of the infrastructure in the last episode and after the fact is you can see this power station is struggling to get some fuel, and the reason for that is before this didn't exist, so there was no way, and neither did this. So the only way that they could really get off the highway is to get off on this like weird dirt road here, or to go all the way from over here, or to go all the way from over here, which was just totally undoable. And I could see why there's like no fuel at the power station. So hopefully pretty soon there will be a truck coming. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, real quick right now, we're gonna build another one, and I think I have the money to do that. Yes, I do have 35,000. So that's gonna be our first investment. Because oil power, I mean, yeah, it would be good, but I think we can, you know, manage with another one of these coal power plants for right now, and then we'll invest in some oil power later. And I might even look on the workshop and see if there's any kind of better power plants. I know I've downloaded some in the past, just because I don't like the look of a lot of the vanilla power plants, except for like this one and the geothermal one. All the other ones look kind of goofy, so I'll keep an eye out for that. But for now, I'm just gonna put another one of these down right here and have sort of a power station complex, if you will. And I'm also going to zone out a little bit of industry here too, because I always feel like, you know, power stations are accompanied by I always like to put like a few garages or like some warehouses and things, just to make it look like it's some kind of active complex. And then I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade some of these roads around the power station, just because I feel like this would be a little bit more of a important, you know, developed area. So I'll leave that for now. Not press play just yet. And I'm also going to bring down, I think I have my funding all the way up. Yes, I do. We won't be needing that since we have another power station now. Actually, we might bump it up a little bit more. But yeah, there's a pretty high demand for electricity right now. So we'll see how that goes. And then the next investment that I want to make is in probably another recycling center. And to do that, we don't have the cash on hand right now. And we still have this loan out, so I'm hesitant to take out an additional loan. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and press play and kind of let this power situation work itself out and see if we can't get a little bit more steady income. But what I will do in the meantime is develop out some more of this industry over here, since we do have quite a bit of empty space. I think it would be a good spot to build kind of like a little bit of an industrial park. And I know I don't always like to keep my zones super close together, so I might go ahead and delete a few of these, make some gaps in the zones. But we definitely need the zoning, so because it doesn't hurt. And yeah, I'll go ahead and make another area back here where we can have some additional industry. And then, like I said, I want to go through and pave some of these roads so that we don't just have random, you know, dirt roads everywhere. People can actually get around now, hopefully. And I did put some of these regular streets down to give the workers some parking available on the roads, since there's probably not a lot of parking, you know, in some of these other areas. All right, that's definitely helping to alleviate some of the demand, and we are getting a little bit of our budget didn't take too much of a hit from this from that power plant investment, so I'm very happy about that. And so I think what I want to do now is just kind of let the city grow for a minute, and just, you know, kind of let the time pass and see if we can, once we get the money, I'm going to go ahead and make that investment in a new recycling center. And until then, I'm not going to upgrade any more roads, because I want to make that investment first before I spend all that cash on some new roads. All right, and so we've made a pretty good amount of cash right now, and I think it is time to go ahead and make that investment in another recycling center. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here by the existing landfill, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this into a little bit of a a facility as well. So as we grow in the future, we can have this nice little spot to kind of put some of these waste processing facilities. So that should definitely help with some of the demand for more garbage processing. And I'm really liking how these roads are working out right now. Everything's looking pretty good. Traffic is flowing much more nicely than it was before. Actually, let's go ahead and check on our traffic flow. 78%. Could be better, could be worse. We do have a few high volume areas that I think I might put another roundabout or something here, because this is a pretty high volume area as well, and it seems to be kind of getting a little bit backed up. But again, could be worse. Oh, we also have a lot of traffic over here, and I don't know why there are stoplights here. I don't always like to have stoplights in all of these intersections just yet. Doesn't really make sense because there's not a lot of traffic, so why should these people wait for literally no reason? It's fine. That should help some of that flow there. But yeah, now that we're done with that, I think it is just time to keep building out the city and try to hit that 11,000 population goal. So I actually did build a little bit of a housing development right here. I said I would get to this. I know in the last episode I said I would maybe do something with this area. It was just a couple of small homes, and it didn't really make sense in around these bigger buildings. And I also zoned out some more commercial over here with the European style, since this is going to be the older part of the city. We'll have those European style buildings, and so I might actually expand out into here with the European style, and that'll help get us some more population in this area as well. And continuing to expand out the industry, I think we do have. Oh, forgot to put the water pipes over here to the recycling center. Don't want to neglect that at the moment. No big deal there. All right, but yeah, in terms of industry, I mean, we still need a lot of it, and I do have an idea pretty soon, probably in the next episode, where we're gonna make a big dent in some of these industrial issues. But for now, I'm kind of trying to keep it on a little bit of a smaller scale. And I like what I have going on over here in man, I still can't pronounce this. I don't know why I made this city, whatever the city's name is. Polish word for hope. That's what it is. But anyway, I like what I have going on here with this industry park. It's nice, and it's nice and kind of spaced out. It's not just these cluttered buildings right next to each other. I like there's still some trees in here. Kind of makes it a little more realistic in my opinion. But at least until we get some bigger complexes built, which is not going to happen right now. But for now, I'm going to spread out the industry here a little bit more and kind of focus on building out Procvatania as well, since this has kind of been, not neglected per se, but it's definitely on a much smaller scale than Nazeja or whatever it's called. But anyway, so yeah, just sit back, relax. Probably going to jump into a little time lapse here and just kind of show some highlights of building out the city. And we have about 4,000 people to go, so I think we can do it. I think it's definitely doable in this episode. And yeah, let's sit back and get to work. All right, it looks like we've reached our next milestone of 11,000 people. It came a little bit of a surprise, but it looks like we have some good unlocks with it. A lot of public transport, some more water, buildings and things. Crematorium, that'll be nice. But yeah, so just kind of getting back to the build here. I was just finishing up this little housing block here, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, don't ask me why I'm making it green, just something a little different. I know actually a lot of I've done a little bit of research. It looks like a lot of Soviet style buildings. In some towns, I call them developments. I don't know why they're towns, but in some towns they actually have some unique colors for the buildings, just because it helps people to tell them apart a little bit better. So it's actually, sometimes it actually has a purpose for having some kind of, goofier looking colors. But in this case, it's purely just because I don't feel like making it any other color, but who cares? It's all good. But yeah, and another thing too that I was kind of looking at is, buildings like this that take up kind of bigger city blocks. So if you zoom out, it's just really, they're just these really, really big, prefab flats, and they just house a lot of people, and they're, cheap to build and easy. And gotta give this guy some water here so he stops complaining. But yeah, so I'm actually happy kind of with how this area turned out. This is a nice bridge between the industry and then kind of leading into the more populated town center. And I decided to I always like to have a little break between the industry and the residential. So I made this little kind of like commercial center. We have some shops and then this gymnasium too, where people can go get a good workout in, and then be close to work. And since these really aren't affected by pollution, it's a good thing to put kind of in between an industrial zone and a primarily residential zone. So I think that is going to be just about it for the episode today. I know it might not seem like that long of an episode, but this actually was not quite a few, but a fair amount of work went into this, a couple of hours. So between doing this and then going back to our old city. Oh no, we have power situation issues again. Gotta love it. How's our budget doing for that? I guess before we end the episode, I want to make sure that this is good. Yeah, bump that up a little bit, which is good, that we have, but which is good because we actually have tons of income flowing in. So we're doing well on that front. Unlike the downfall of the Soviet Union, we're actually making a lot of money, and so we don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far, and especially this old part of the city is looking kind of cool. I know I might spend some time in the future off camera, kind of making this a little bit more dense and kind of splicing these buildings together a little bit better, since in typical European cities, they look more like these, where they're just kind of wall to wall, rather than like, say, these that are just completely separate and they don't look as good. But that'll come at a later time. I'm not going to worry about that now. We're just trying to build the city, expand, get some population going, and stuff. So yeah, I think this is a good spot to call it for today. Stay tuned in the next episode. I actually have an idea of what I want to do now that we have some more money available to us, and it might involve finally getting to our third city over there. So stay tuned. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Peace.